So today I'm going to be talking about classics that I want to read either this year or sometime in the near future. The first book I have to mention is 1984 by George Orwell. I got this last summer, I believe. I think I'm quite apprehensive about picking this one up, basically because it's a dystopian book and I'm not a huge fan of dystopian novels, so I have been a bit sceptical. However, this sounds really good. Everybody who's read it speaks positively of it, so I really want to give it a go. Plus I want to get the kind of cultural references. It's referenced so much in like modern pop culture, you know, Room 101 and all that jazz, and I just really want to kind of understand what's going on. The next book I want to read I personally wouldn't consider a classic, however it's been published in a vintage classic edition, which kind of makes me feel like it maybe is classed as a classic nowadays. The author's still alive, she's still writing, but maybe it's just received that status because it's just so good, I don't know. And it is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is a book I've been wanting to read for ages. She's actually an author that I've been wanting to read for ages, and I just have never got round to picking up any of her books. Again, it's not massive, it's not intimidating in size, it's just kind of intimidating in kind of stature, I guess. And when so many people rave about it and you have this hype before you even go into the book, your kind of expectations are already high, so if it's not as good, it's kind of disappointing. The next one is a proper classic, and it is The Tenant of Wildfeld Hall by Anne Bronte. Anne Bronte is a very, very underappreciated Bronte sister, and I feel like she needs a bit more love. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've heard really good things about this book. I feel like it's a, well, not a feminist text, but it is a kind of female doing stuff in the 1900s kind of text. But I'm really, really excited to read it, and this cover is just... Another book I've been wanting to read for ages is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I've been put off this book because I read Mary Barton last year, which is also by Gaskell. I read it for university, didn't particularly like it. It was okay. I read it and I quite enjoyed it, but it was just a bit blah. So this is kind of set around the same period. It's set in the kind of Industrial Revolution, so to kind of read a book set in the same time period by the same author as that book that you didn't particularly like, that's kind of why I've been putting it off. But I have heard fantastic things about it. I have seen the Richard Armitage North and South, which I love, and I am really excited to read it. It is a romance story, I believe, and it's just something that I really, really want to read. The next book I am quite ashamed to say I have never read, and it is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This book is very, very love it or hate it, I found. I think the majority of the people quite enjoy it, but I have heard a lot of people kind of say it's not the best. So basically I'd love to read it just to form my own opinion on it, really, because I know this book is very dividing. However, I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Another book I'm really excited to read is The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I really enjoyed The Great Gatsby when I read it last year, and this is the natural progression of reading his works. It's a bit longer than The Side of Paradise and The Great Gatsby, but I'm really looking forward to delving into it. If you've read any of these books, by the way, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you will have done, then please leave me a comment below telling me what you thought. The final book I'm going to mention is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This was one of the books that was taught in my high school for GCSE exams. It was this one, Of Mice and Men, Lord of the Flies, which are all great classics that I would have really liked to study, but ours was the class that got given Heroes by, I think it was Robert Cormier, I think his name was, and it was a war book that was about that thick, and exam wise it was brilliant. It was fantastic to write about because it was so short, so we obviously didn't have to read loads. But as far as reading goes, I would have loved to have read this and studied it, but I picked this up in a charity shop a couple of months ago. I think this was in my November haul, I believe, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. So many people have read it, and I'd just love to be able to be included in the people that have. So those are the classics that I want to read sometime in the near future. Have any of you guys read any of these classics? You probably have. Wuthering Heights is a big one, I'm aware, and To Kill a Mockingbird is pretty big also. So if you have read them and enjoyed them or not, either opinion would be nice, then please let me know in the comments down below. That's all from me guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!